The people in the snows.
Do you have a copy of for the minutes or anything I might need to?
No, that's just FYI for him and I, and this is staying in my binder.
Okay.
Just in case.
Stuff with time?
No.
For recording anything?
No. It's just letting him, he should stay, or at least make his disclosure ahead of time.
Mattresses, tires, and burn on, right in the driveway. What are you doing? What's this? What are you doing? That's your option. I know. 586, yeah. Oh. I didn't see this. Never seen it. Oh, you remember this one? That's what I get of that. It's like a burner. Okay.
Anybody's here, what happened to you yesterday?
Happened yesterday.
Meeting.
Oh, no, that was this morning.
Oh, that was this one?
Yeah, that was this morning. So that meeting today.
There's it going on there.
Alright. We'll practice again.
Is this?
Yeah, it was a.
Two more votes down. I need to have.
Yeah, I don't think his name is on, but yeah, maybe his name is. I don't know.
I did.
Oh, yeah, oh, that's the sign these?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, next time.
They are, what do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was an interesting meeting. I get very frustrated.
That is, yeah, right on that, they want to engineer something that's existing. Problem with the existing stuff, they want to re-engineer, gonna put engineering fees, re-engineer what is existing.
At the tune of almost $2 million.
Right.
Yeah, $2 million just for the engineering. The biggest thing is they know it's wrong, they put a steel pipe in a swamp.
Oh, yeah.
They get salt dumped on it, like you read about, because that's our resource highway. Never mind the fact that's what they call an oak swamp, which I really didn't realize until we, which makes acidity.
That's what makes it.
Right? And
You talked about that.
Yeah.
You brought that to my attention. I'd never heard that before.
no, and they don't want to talk about that. So I got so perturbed with them, I stayed for 21 years that I've seen.
All the ones that I did have.
They've been working on
They did, but.
getting a lot of traffic flow through Belmont.
Mhm.
So they spent an engineering. Years, put five
Just
panels
so you know,
on the
that's
high school.
I'll just make an arrow and point it over.
Over the top of
As
it.
long as there's four,
Over the trailer
Yeah.
park.
the state's not gonna care as long as there's
All
four,
this
so.
engineering.
Yeah.
And I own some property at that point on the end of Seaview Road, my garage. Well, that's what you're gonna do. You're really gonna do this. So they must have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in years of doing it. But he just came up with a fix.
Oh, where am I putting your,
Stop
oh, right
sign.
there,
Yeah.
The end of 140.
the letter to the editor.
Of all that money they spent. all
I
that
was, didn't
engineering,
even know I had it on here.
at the range.
That was funny. That was funny.
How many years did not
Not
like the Indians and the.
Wow.
It's 6.1.
Went down.
A lot.
Hmm.
Alright.
Yeah.
For taxes.
But then you were.
It's gonna hurt.
I don't understand. Pockets are still starting to go back down.
Any insight as to why the equalization?
I'm not going up the taxes they are. To me, that's a positive.
That means that properties are valued less than what they're worth. So properties are valued at only 85, and I've got notices that I made, like, if one had a $400,000 house, We lost value, so a property worth, $500. $500,000 was only assessed for $495,000. So you're $75,000 short on your assessment. That's what the property tax is. So, yes, I will. Then in 2024, that same property that's worth $5,000 was assessed at $475,000. So we lost $50,000 assessed value from 24 to 25, but I mean, it's 10%, so it's 50,000 from a $500,000 property. So yeah, I will explain that when we get to the.
Equalization.
Oh,
Ready? Okay.
Donna, silence your cell phone. It's already silent.
About what?
It always blows off. Oh, all right.
Oh, boy.
Don't rise to the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Okay, we're gonna start, this is considered a new year, a new
board.
year, or a new whatever, right? Under new business, we need to do the election official swearing in, so that's going to be
We have Mark and Travis.
Travis,
Marcia.
Dawn,
So wherever you guys would like to stand.
and
Scott.
and you're.
Right here.
Yeah.
You have to go up, up, up.
And there.
Okay.
Now,
Don't fight with me, buddy. I'm not fighting. It's on their way home. I had to do what you gotta do.
Yeah, he did mine today.
you know,
Been a long day, my other job today, but you
If
know.
I had to do it, you gotta.
Alright, where does everybody want me? Out of sorts.
You're great, right?
Alright.
You don't know.
Okay.
Oh, you want
Do mine?
Don't forget.
oh, come on.
Can you see? I'm not gonna call each oath out, so I'm just gonna try my best to. Get everybody's. Mark. Travis. All right, so everyone raise your right hands. Upon your taking this oath of office and having this appointment, a certificate of said oath recorded by the town clerk, you shall have the powers to perform the duties as a budget committee member, board of selectmen member. That's it. Okay. As of March, for the town of Belmont, as of March 18th, 2026, do you, Travis O'Hare, Mark Lewandowski, Scott Bell, Don Hurd, and Marcia Campbell. Right. Solemnly swear that you will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on you as a budget committee member, and the board of selectmen members, according to the best of your abilities, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and the laws of the state of New Hampshire, so help you God.
You do, yes.
And congratulations and welcome aboard. So if you guys want to sign real quick, you're welcome to stay for the meeting if you want. Hands out for Scott, I think. Mark. Go.
You can sign mine.
Oh, sure.
Donnie.
Why?
That's my whole bad movement.
Sorry. Guys, there we go. There you go.
There you go.
You do. Please just have
No, no.
Put it on your refrigerator.
Yeah.
You're welcome to stay.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah, what you know, we can graduate. You know, it's just that.
If you want to, you're welcome.
Okay.
September, October, whenever.
Yeah, they come out there.
What's that? Saturday at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
And this will be concluded after this meeting,
she
this is
said-
the town meeting.
Stay for the meeting.
No, this is. Yes, it's soon in this building.
Yes,
Yes.
me across the hall.
Across the hall?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Bye, Masha.
Can you guys head out also, you don't need to stay if you don't
Well, if
want.
you wanna stay.
Totally up to you.
I'll listen.
We'd love to have you stay. Organization of the Board of Selectmen and committee assignments. So the first thing is obviously chairman, for the select board,
And I'll make Ruth Moore.
I'll second.
okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. Vice chair,
I'll recommend Travis O'Hara.
I'll second that, okay, I'm sorry. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. Planning board rep, and I believe that kind of is already John. And doesn't that stay that way because everyone's concerned with your?
Yeah, it's co-terminus is the verbiage that's used in the motion, so you still have to appoint him, but it's co-terminus with his planning board term.
Sure, so moved. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. Budget committee rep.
That's Ruth Mooney.
I don't know, I was thinking maybe we should nominate Travis. He seems to be very gung ho in budget matters, and I think it would be a good experience for him. And since we're only allowed one selectmen's rep, he would never be able to sit on the board, on the budget committee itself. So I just thought it would be, he would like it, so.
I don't see much enthusiasm.
I'm down for joy.
Something-
I do. I would be the rep of the budget committee if that's what the board wanted, but. It's not gonna be very.
I'll go on with you, should be on the budget committee, I'd like to see a deal with my daughter.
Can't resend this.
You already spoke,
Is that a second, John?
that was a second.
Okay, all in favor?
You play video games.
Okay, so the motion on the floor right now is that Sharon nominated Travis and John seconded the motion.
Yeah,
Okay, I just wanna make sure, cause Mark had started the motion and. So I just wanna make sure where we were at.
and, do you vote on that first?
Well, nobody seconded it, so it kinda just dies because nobody seconded Mark's motion.
Okay, all right. All right, all in favor?
I,
Okay, any opposition?
He's in.
Heritage Commission.
I'll be sharing for that.
All-
Second.
All in favor?
No, sorry.
Any opposition? Conservation Commission?
I'd like to nominate Mark for that, please.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? No,
No.
okay. Okay, on to meeting schedule. Our current meetings are being held first and third Wednesday of the month. The first is typically at 10, the third is at 6. Do we want to keep that, scheduled, or does anyone want to change that, or are we fine with this?
See, we'll find it.
Don't wanna shape too many ships since we only passed divided by 4 votes.
No, I don't have a problem with it, morning and night, morning.
I think it's going on now.
I mean, we don't have, it gives our department heads the morning meetings to attend. Because it's easier for them, and I know the department heads, like the morning meeting, because they're exhausted and don't back at night. But yeah, it gives the second meeting, if the public wants to come, not that anybody much is coming from the public. Do we want to set a date on this, or do we want to just continue on unless we discuss at a later date to change it?
And just continue it.
Okay, all right, do we need a motion for that, or just, that's just a.
Consensus.
All right, we'll continue on with the same, typical, the same schedule what we've been running.
So still Wednesday,
Pardon?
still Wednesday.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion that we continue on with our current schedule. Let's see, is it the first of the month is at 10 and the first Wednesday of the month? And then the third Wednesday of the month is at 6 p.m. Do I have a second for that? Second, all in favor? Aye. All right. I find them, I buried, sorry guys. I just lost the minutes, oh, yeah. Sorry about that. We have minutes of the Board of Selectmen's public hearing held on March 4th. Could I have a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? None, we will sign those. Your guys. And obviously Mark is not gonna sign these because he was
Not here.
not here. Then we have minutes of our Board of Selectmen non-public meeting held on March 4th. I have a motion for that. And a second,
Second.
all in favor? Any opposition? Hearing none. We'll move on to new business, and then that's our town meeting update.
Yes, Jen couldn't be here. She's at a conference, so she did submit a little letter that I will read on her behalf. And I can give it to you after. The 26th town election was a success. We were well prepared and the day ran smoothly without any issues. The new ballot machine worked perfectly. While the pause between ballots was a little noticeable and somewhat annoying at times, it did not affect the overall process. We had a turnout of around 995 voters, which is about 100 more than last year, with 27 of them being same day new voter registrations. Everyone worked well together as a team and morale remained positive throughout the day. Overall, it was a well-run election and a good experience for both the workers and the voters. The election results included a mix of both approved and rejected ballot articles. The 3 union contracts for the Department of Public Works, Police, and Fire were all approved by the voters, and the operating budget also passed. There were several articles not approved. The article for the capital reserve for the mill renovation was voted down. The article for the municipal facilities capital reserve, the property revaluation, the information technology, and the contingency fund were all voted down. Overall, as many are aware, an official request for a recount was submitted by 12 registered voters in town regarding the vote on Article 4, the town's operating budget, which passed by a margin of 4 votes. The recount will take place this Saturday, March 21st, 2026 at 11 a.m. on the 4th floor of the mill in the Penstock room, which is across the hall. The rules of conduct of the recount are available on the town website. The notice of the recount has been posted at Town Hall in 2 spots, the post office, the library, and on the website in 2 spots, and mailed to every person who signed the request on that. I do have more dollar amounts to kind of just go over. So the approved operating budget was 12,071,283. Plus you have to add in the addition of the 3 union contracts, which was 228,240. Plus the addition of the separate and special warrant articles, which was a total of 3,063,096 for a total 2026 voted on appropriations of $15,362,619. In comparison, 25's voted on appropriations were $14,047,544. The difference or increase is 1,315,075, not the 5 million fake number running on Facebook. So it's a increase of 1.3. And if you think about it in this way, it is a 9.3 increase, or you can also think of it more in sense of a 3% increase because we were in default for 2 years and then this budget. So really, it's been a 3% increase over the last 3 years since we started at a default, which is very normal, if not very conservative and very low compared to other towns that I've seen with 10 plus or between the 6 and 10 mark. In 25, our total appropriation was that 14 million, plus you add in your work credits and your overlay, you minus your revenues and your surplus, which resulted in only 8.1 million raised in taxation. This year, when you do the same kind of a calculation, we're estimating about 9.8 to be raised in 2026. So people don't understand that, yes, you might have appropriating 15 million, but you've got to also add in your overlay, your work credits, and then you've got to minus your revenues and any surplus that you choose to use to offset the tax rate. The failed, as we already discussed, was the mill renovation capital reserve for 300,000, the municipal facilities capital reserve for 200, the info technology capital reserve for 50,000, property reval capital reserve for 80,000, the contingency fund for 20,000, for a total of 650,000 not to collect for savings and or to be raised by taxation. Article number 41 to sell the mill failed, and the articles to for the veterans credits also passed. So any other highlights I can give on the
I mean, obviously the article to sell the mill, failed by a lot. But yeah, the money failed, but the money failed, so people don't want us to sell the mill, but they don't wanna put any money into getting it so that we can keep it
And
up.
I think the other big one that, sorry, to cut you off, that kind
Yeah.
of throws me off is they still don't understand what the property reevaluation.
Oh, yeah.
Is for.
Oh,
We're gonna be hit with such a big bill to do property reevaluations in 3 years now,
Yeah.
4 years now.
oh, yeah,
It's gonna make our budget
that year be
Yeah.
super inflated.
dramatically. And we have to pay for it. We're just trying to put money away to save for it.
and we have no choice,
No,
but that's about,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
out of our
every 5 years,
control,
Right.
it's out of our control, so. Yep. So obviously, right off the bat, next year's reval, we're gonna have to spend time to try to explain to everyone that if you don't put some money in savings, it's gonna be. It'll probably be $300,000 to do a reval, round numbers. So do we increase that for next year? And just do some
Catch up.
catch up?
Just take it out, you do your own revow. Take the approach, take the tax base that you have right now on the properties, and somebody sit down with one of your office people, and you got some very capable office. And bump by 5.6%, that's what the revow is gonna come back at. And you're gonna be pretty close, if you can break that number down, you don't have to pay somebody to tell you to do that.
But I think you have to, and don't, I'm not, but you've gotta. what one person might be that much, another taxpayer, another one might not be that much, that
Just take
increase.
the overall base of
Yeah.
taxes that you have, it's gonna be widespread, they spread it over the town.
Yeah,
They equal value over the town, they don't pick on. The waterfront property's worth more than property on North Durham. Just take the total number and hit it by 1.5%. Actually, 1.6%. And you're gonna be pretty close to what you're gonna pay $250,000 for a rebound.
Mhm.
And save that $250,000 and say this is our prescribed number. We'll
I don't believe we
just get it.
Wait, I'm sorry, John, we can't do that. By law, we have to have a certified assessor that does the assessments. And we're
Who does our
also
assessing?
doing,
Yeah.
it's
KRT.
KRT appraisal. We have a
No, not
contract.
what you want. Not what you wanna pay for.
Stamp this.
Get the money to do it.
Unfortunately,
It's
we
time
have,
to start telling, not ask.
well, the other problem is with the municipal facilities monies. God forbid if we have a failure in one of our town buildings. That's what those monies are for.
Well, not to point any fingers, but unfortunately, with a fire department that starts
Right.
to fall forward.
Right. Right,
I mean, time to fix.
so that, and we've kind of been putting out some feelers for that, but now the monies didn't pass, so how are we gonna fix the fire station? Cause the monies did not pass. So, and that was one of our earmarks, but.
They
Yeah.
use some of the same department that you just got $500,000 if you know how to apply for it. But you got a fire truck fund.
State.
No, that was not. the same.
No, that was heavy,
Oh, that, okay.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
heavy,
Let's pay attention, I wrote the book.
that was heavy. I don't know, oh, well,
We also have gotten on the radar of the Concord Monitor in regards to, you know, town meeting and the mill and the article failing, and I actually did a walkthrough of the mill today with one of the reporters.
yeah,
And so she's going to do an article on the mill and, you know, the progress we've been doing and the money we've been putting into it, and took some pictures of what still needs to be done. So we should either see an article Saturday or Monday.
Did they do a walkthrough of the existing town hall?
Exactly.
And then take it down in the.
She did not, but she says that is a great future article. And she said that Ruth Mooney did such a wonderful job describing the deplorable conditions that we live in, that she got a good idea of what town hall is. Yeah. So. From the deliberative session meeting.
yes, Ron,
I was gonna wait until I needed to speak, but. My feeling was about town meeting and these things getting voted down, they figured, well, we're gonna save some money if we don't vote for this. But they don't know how bad it really is. So I'm suggesting what we do is to get the word out, is because you got digital cameras and stuff. Have somebody go through and take 100 pictures of photographs of the conditions that that building is in. Upstairs, down in the basement, all that. People don't know what it is. They go into the town hall and they see a carpet. It's nicely painted and they got window, nice lighting and everything. They don't know what it looks like upstairs. And they don't know what it looks like downstairs. And if, heaven forbid, if that place catches fire, which will probably be in the middle of the night because there'll be a computer that shorts out or batteries that light up. And by the time the fire department gets there, it's gonna be too late because it's balloon construction. In other words, if there's a fire in the basement, those studs go all the way to the roof. And it's wide open upstairs, you got one access. You know, so they'd have to knock the windows out and you've got power lines in the front. Upsetting a ladder truck, they're gonna have to go over the surrounding ground and everything you got in there is gonna be gone. And so. You need to get those photographs out, put them in the newsletter or whatever. To show exactly what we're dealing with. That building's, 130 years old. And I'm sure that the studs inside are rough sawn, so that means the fire goes along the fire list because it's all fuzzy, it's gonna make it all the way up there. So that's my feeling is what needs to be done there. And then as far as, because I was in the building business, you need to get the first floor designed on how it's gonna get laid out. And get the vaults built. A vault or whatever, get that done just in case you need that to get back on. And that's what I would do on the first floor. You know what the plan is, get the vault built, hire it done or whatever. And then you can work the rest. Your stuff upstairs is mostly all cosmetic, which you can just painting and move the planning board.
The most expensive part to get into this building is getting the downstairs
That's
done with
correct.
the vault. And obviously security and building their, their whatever, their.
Well,
like-
you gotta have a game plan.
Right, and obviously, we've talked with the police department in the past, and that is the best place for. Obviously, the tax collector is the money taker, and obviously, we've been advised. That needs to be with the town clerk is because you can't put them up above it, it's gotta be on the basement, and it's gotta be in the basement for that. For the vault, but I believe, and, now, testing my memory that we talked about. Being able, there is a big safe, there's a safe in the town hall, is it in the tax collector's office? And there was discussion that could be moved over, I mean, it can be.
But you need something big enough to put all the records in.
That,
And when we built, with 2 floors
right,
in that corner,
right,
it's all secured, so that would hopefully survive the fire. But the rest of the stuff, all the filing cabinets,
you really need a separate vault, so to speak, for those old records that are down there in the basement, in the corner, whatever you wanna call it, but, yeah.
but you need a game plan and you need to go towards it. Because if you wait until next year and it gets voted down, you'll never get moved over.
No.
So you gotta piecemeal it, probably, that's the only way you're gonna get it done. And so
Well, what
my
we
thing
make,
is-
that's why we
The
keep
biggest
trying.
thing is get the vault secured, and then as far as the secured area where they're working, when I built the courthouse in Concord, we put steel panels, so if somebody comes in, they can't, shoot through things, and you gotta have that security, because in this day and age, you
That's the most-
saw what happened over in Sunapee, this rental tax credit, comes in.
Well, that's why we had to spend the money this past year for adding security and cameras in town hall now, is because of disgruntled people.
Yeah.
And, our employees shouldn't have to feel threatened by people who come in and think they own the place and walk right through, so.
Yeah.
That's what we
It's
use
more
that
prevalent
contingency
today.
money for.
So when you're on your things to do,
Pardon?
so when you're on your things to do, we gotta have an air purification system put in there. Of some kind, circulation. There's only one person that worked the whole time through COVID in our town hall. Only one.
Well,
He works every day, and that was your town clerk tax collector.
You're gonna need that in that part of that building anyways,
Mhm.
because.
Well, you gotta,
Basement.
you don't want to spend money, you gotta have it.
Well, the thing of it is that we said we didn't want to put any more money into that building because it's,
I didn't say put it in the existing building, Ron, I said in this building right now,
I thought you were talking about,
no. And a lot of those people were sick and really sick with it, you got a dirt floor basement.
Yeah.
They don't understand, they just want, you said best, when you walk in, you see the rug, you see a counter, you wanna pay your. Register your car, you want in, you wanna pay, and you wanna leave.
right. But that's why you gotta get those photographs of everything. And it's in a record too, because if you lose the building, at least you're gonna know where everything was, if you have to go back and retrieve something, but that's my feeling is that's what.
I don't think you're wrong.
But the sooner the better. Because people get on, oh, well, they don't need that, they don't need this, but
Mhm.
we've been dealing with that, how many years? 50 years I've been trying to build town hall. We were gonna build one down here, it was 2.5 million last year, the police station was going in there and everything, and McCollum was, town administrator.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that those monies that we were trying to get passed so that we could maybe do the vault and start doing that, got voted down.
I know, but you're gonna have to find it some way, cause you
Yeah.
can't wait another 2-3 years. So to me, if you get that done, then at least you can work towards that.
Mhm.
If you can find some extra money, sell some property or whatever, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but. Or have a special town meeting, I don't, may have to do that.
Didn't the police department hold an open house and have people come in and look at the condition of the building when you guys were trying to?
We did a lot of things. We did a video walkthrough that was posted that everyone got to see.
Yeah, I saw
And,
that.
you know, and it was narrated. We did open the building to the public to come and actually do walkthroughs through the old police department. And surprisingly, we didn't get as many people as we thought we would get. We probably had, what, maybe a dozen total. It was smaller than I ever thought it would be, but, yeah, we did a whole bunch of things to let people come in and actually see what kind of building we were living in and working on. And the ones that did come walked out of there saying, absolutely, you need a building.
Yeah.
I mean, once they saw what we were living in, and I think the town hall would be something very similar.
The problem is if we do it that way, we're gonna have to bond it, because you're only gonna get those votes 1 year, and you're gonna have to fight for those votes that 1 year. We're not gonna be able to do
Yeah,
it,
then-
we're trying to piecemeal.
Right.
I mean, really, what option do we have? We're not gonna get the money a little bit at a time. You might have to just fight for it and bond it and go talk to the people and try to.
You know, the majority of people that go to town hall now go as far as the clerk's one.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
exactly.
take the vast majority of people, that's as far as they get. They don't go in the
Right.
planning office, they go in the back room, they don't go down the hall, they certainly don't go downstairs.
No, I've never been downstairs or upstairs, but
And
I
only
did-
ghosts have been upstairs for a long time.
I don't know, about just before in January, just
Ron,
before voting, I went
friendly with.
and counted all of the file cabinets. Once you go in where you guys have your little kitchenette thing, we started right there and started counting all the file cabinets just in land use. And from that spot to Rod's office, it's 41 file cabinets, full size, chock full.
And how much
file
weight is on
cabinets.
that floor?
Well, I was just gonna say, at one point, there was a person who worked for the town had made reference to the fact that the floor structure system was not capable of holding that weight.
It's not,
And it's not, it's as old as it is, so you've got that many file cabinets, many of them are fire safes, which are even heavier than a standard file cabinet, so. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on.
Be embarrassing if it all ends up in the basement. Oh,
At least you know where to find it.
And if
Right.
there's fire, leave Ron's alibi,
Yeah.
wherever he was.
Okay,
but you have to realize now, we transferred the weight of the roof all the way down to the basement. Because we had to shore the presses up, because they were sagging so bad.
well, they can't be sagging, because if you go up there and those 4x4, posts that were put in are doing this.
Yeah, the pillars,
They're not even on the floor. They're up off the floor about this much. They
Really?
literally
Yeah.
pulled the nails out.
In the summertime they have, but in the winter.
in the winter they sell.
Well, with the snow load, they probably,
Yeah.
but when I went up, it was, I think, spring or whatever. And the 4x4 posts are up this far off the ground, off that beautiful floor up there. And the nails that were kind of in the floor, were literally coming out of the floor. So, it's whatever.
Well, the pros did that, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my feeling, that
Yeah,
in order to get out of this, you're gonna have to start.
I know. Brian, yes.
Well, this may be a question for Chief Extra, but could we roll in like tours of these facilities for the National Night Out? I think that happens sometime this summer, doesn't it? And what would you put, like your National Night Out that you guys host?
Yep.
I mean, we're all a part of it, we're all here. Could we offer tours of these facilities during that?
Awesome. I think a video posting it online, more people are gonna see that.
That would
Yeah.
spark some interest for sure.
Yeah,
Let's make sure you show them their finance clerk is in the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem was with touring people through there, those back stairs are really, really steep, and somebody fell down.
Oh, you wouldn't want me to go upstairs.
No.
Yeah.
No,
No.
We don't use that space.
no,
we
you
don't.
need to keep on there.
No.
You remember, we did do, an open house for town hall, the last building. Was like probably 2017 or 18, it was right when I first
17.
started working at town hall and people came through, it was set for a certain time and. We got like 8 people that walked through our offices while we were there working and that was it, that was the only interest.
The only way you're gonna get them to show up,
So-
is free taxes for 6 months, no other tax back.
Put it on YouTube.
Well, we can do a video and we
It
can
ain't
do
gonna
open
help them.
houses
They're all
and
interested in one thing, they think they're overpaying for what they get now.
Well,
Well, they are. I mean, the problem is they are, but there's no solution behind it.
but anyway, that's my feeling.
Ryan, oh, okay, you did, yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's no easy solution to it. That's for sure. And I think I know that Alicia kind of watches for grants or whatever, and there just has been nothing that, fits into, fits into this category, unfortunately. The grants got used up many years ago when they rehabbed this after the fire. And even then, our hands were tied with what we could do with this building. So it's kind of, yeah. It's not for lack of watching and keeping our eyes out for it.
Well, we've had a few questions on the building years past. We sell it to,
Yeah,
what are we,
Yeah.
remodel it, whatever, so.
well, the voters don't want us to sell it. But they don't want to give us any money to fix it either, so it's,
Because it doesn't bother them at all. They
Right.
have their house.
Is this building on the historical registry?
I don't think so, because I thought
Was
that
compromised?
it was compromised, but don't quote me, I thought it was compromised.
Could be.
Yeah,
Compromise for what?
when the rehab was done,
Because of the fire.
The fire.
I thought it was, you
That's
think it's
fine.
on, is it on the, I don't think it is on
I
there.
don't know, it's a good question though.
Yeah,
I don't,
Sharon, is it?
I would gonna assume no, because we would have had to adhere to strict
yeah,
historical guidelines when we were doing the reno.
Yeah, tomorrow.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
Well,
Ask them.
this pitched roof wasn't on it.
there was
It was,
something,
it was a flat roof.
But
This was added on
yeah,
in the remodel.
There's a plaque right.
So you
there.
look at the old pictures, it was a flat roof. This was the roof right here.
yeah.
Might just be
Oh,
for the mill,
I think it was
maybe.
compromised.
I think, again,
That's what-
Travis is gonna tell us, he's Googling this. While he's doing that, we'll move on. We'll move on. Okay, MS 232, Statement of Appropriations.
You have the original in front of you,
Yeah.
so this is everything that was voted on and approved at town meeting, and this is our
So
statement
this
of
needs our-
appropriations, just need your
Correct.
signatures, I uploaded it into the portal.
No, the only thing on the historical thing from Belmont is Providence Meeting House. That's the only thing
In
listed
the-
on the historical website.
But
Yeah,
a lot of questions regarding the building.
I know, all right, I think.
And the bandstand, I believe, is because we have to always paint that, like that had to be preserved with a special paint color and by a special person who does preservation. I believe the bandstand is. And we always get an L-chip grant too.
That's
It's
it,
not a building, but it's a building, yeah. So you couldn't just be like, blow it up.
yeah. Well, okay. You're fishing. Our next item is the union contracts. So this is going to be your union contracts for police, fire, and DPW. And these have to officially be signed. Each one of these did pass. Wanna send that down, send that down.
The one I look,
And this is part of it?
Those are the, non-union wages.
Okay. So that's just wage improvements.
Yep. All four, or there's like four of them, Ruth, I think.
That was a fire department thing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just make this one.
Do we miss one?
Routine.
You sure, or did someone, I just copy and pasted all of them?
You go.
Magic.
No,
Simon, you draw a straight line. Or just.
Oh. Weird. Oh, here, take this one too. You're signing.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
that one's.
It's the first one we did.
Giving this to back to, you have to sign every point.
It's every page.
I did for years.
Right at all.
Anything, nothing, you're
Signing.
Here's Mark for the next one. Red and white. We're all red and white, right?
Yes, yeah.
Beautify Belmont. April 18th.
Yes, I have gotten word from Danielle that she's organizing her Beautify Belmont on April 18th and organizing some crews to clean up the beach and the parks and other town areas. And then DPW will come around on Monday 4/20 and pick up any of the blue bags or any excess extra garbage trash that was collected.
April? Oh, that's right, this is one, they better be gone. Let's hope we don't get.
Yeah,
Sometimes they.
And we always do the Beautify Belmont Day around Earth Day with
Yeah.
which Earth Day is 4/22.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And people can pick up bags at town hall and our DPW or from any selectman that wants to pass them out.
Awesome. Outship incentive payment. So.
We get this every year from the L-chip grant, and it's for the bandstand. This is New Hampshire Land and Community Heritage Investment Program is pleased to provide the town of Belmont with their $550 stewardship grant acknowledgement submission of the required 2025 annual monitoring report for the I'm sorry, I thought it was for the bandstand, but it's not. It's for the Courier Sanborn Conservation Area. The annual stewardship grants were made possible by L-CHIP's enabling legislation, which established a community conservation endowment to help ensure that resources protected with L-CHIP assistance remain in compliance with associated legal agreements. There is a motion for you, and then this will go into the Conservation Commission's fund. So, scratch what I said about the bandstand.
Make motion to accept the LTIP funds, $500 for the annual reporting for the Courier Sanborn Conservation Area. Funds then to be deposited into the Conservation Commission's fund.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, that passes. Notice ordinance review and update.
The chief had come to me a week or two ago about an exemption in regards to farm and agriculture. And then we were reminded that in 2023, there was a warrant article to exempt farm agriculture, farm ag and farming per the RSA 2134-A. And we just never got around to putting it into the ordinance that was an exemption. So we're just kind of closing the loop on that. So that was the original ordinance was adopted in 2010, and then it was amended at the 2023 town meeting. And then we didn't change anything else. Karen in her office did look through it to see if there's anything else that needed to be added or revised. You can either decide to sign it and I guess formally re-adopt it from the 23 changes, or you guys can read over it and we can readdress it next meeting. It's up to you guys.
Is it always been 10 to 10 on the weekends?
What's that?
The noise ordinance, always been 10 to 10?
For 20 years.
Right, just seems a little late in the morning, but.
On Sunday.
On Sunday,
Oh,
that's right.
Sundays.
Sundays.
And this came about because of some barking dogs after 10 o'clock at night. That were barking to scare off coyotes or whatnot. And they're actually in with animals protecting them. So they're exempt from that, from a regular dog barking. So this came up and, you know, we can't issue the person a citation for the dogs barking because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And the statute says that they're exempt from it. However, our town ordinance does not exempt them. So we just need to make that clear.
So if my dogs are let out at 10 o'clock at night and they take off after the coyotes across the field
And they're barking.
and they're barking.
They're okay.
You're okay.
Yes.
They better come back with the coyotes.
Yeah, they. But usually you don't hear it for phone.
I agree, I'm fine.
Yeah, that's
I'm fine with that. So.
So if you're fine with today, then you can assign, sorry, the original.
They need
But
to
it
make a
doesn't work on
motion.
fireworks.
Well, I mean, it was
Talk a little bit about.
it was amended at that meeting, so I don't think they need to make much later as well.
Process with the fireworks.
It was just a review.
Just nobody gets in there, but.
I don't know.
You wanna vote to
So
accept
this-
as amended?
Sure.
To the fire department.
Yes,
Yes.
Make a motion to accept the.
It exists.
2023 amended
Yep.
noise ordinance.
3 noise ordinance as presented.
And I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
And aye. Any opposition? None, we will sign it.
Thank you.
Then we will talk fireworks while we're in discussing
Ordinances,
noise.
yep, okay.
All right,
We just discussed that, wasn't we?
yes, well, I'm not sure what it is, but it's been like 3 or 4 times, it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Often down on Shaker Road and they're just going. I can't believe people spend that amount of money on fireworks, but obviously, has there been any permits even requested lately?
If they come in and they may be
coming in while I'm not there.
Okay.
But people do come in throughout the summer to get them.
Summer I do,
And,
but this.
and part of it is the guys will go out and inspect the area where they're gonna be able to
Right.
make sure it's, you know,
Right.
not on a piece of plywood in the hayfield,
Mhm.
but, they do go out and inspect them when they apply for them,
Sure,
you know.
and if someone does it without a permit, what happens?
It's,
They can decide for it.
Nothing, because
They
how
can
do
get
you
cited
know,
for it?
Trouble is, who's gonna enforce it?
Right,
and how do you know whether they have a permit or not? I mean, they
You do
should
call.
want
They
to
should have
like
the
all the
permit.
time.
Oh, yeah.
have a copy.
Right, but if I'm sitting there at midnight and I've got 3 people over there lighting off fireworks,
Do you own the property
what property?
that they're shooting them off on?
No.
Oh, because if you are, then you'd be set.
But typically what used to
Wow.
happen is the fire department would send it to us so that we would know
right,
that somebody does have a permit.
Uh-huh.
for them.
because I sat there the other night thinking, well, who would I call?
You
Do I
call.
call the fire? Department, or do I call the police department? You know,
Call, please.
call the police department.
Yeah. And then what we'll have to do is call the fire department to see if they actually have a permit.
Yeah. So what I will do tomorrow morning, I will make sure that there's a system in place that they get a copy of it and updated for any new permits. Okay.
And I don't so much worry about it this time of year, because obviously it's wet. But who knows if the wind keeps up, all right, because it's going right into the woods. And obviously, our farm animals are kind of close to the barns this time of year. But, you can be assured, Steve, that in another few weeks, the animals will be out in the field. And they'll be down on Shaker Road probably if these fireworks, the way these fireworks are going off. But,
So you'd be wrestling
I have,
with that.
I have a question for the chief. I haven't read that fireworks ordinance in quite a while. Is there a fine schedule built into that?
I think there is.
Do you recall what it is by
No,
chance?
no,
I don't, I don't know. And the reason I bring that up is we discussed this, in my other employment location. And they determined last night that what they're going to do is the first offense is a warning. Second offense is $150 fine, and it doubles every time you have to go back. So 150 to 300 to 600, and it just climbs after that. So it's gonna get quite expensive for someone if they're not paying attention.
I think this situation that you're talking about, they might not even know.
they may not, but,
So it's more of an educational piece that when it's happening, we'll go out and chat with them.
But it would be helpful, because where I live, there's one campground and stuff there.
oh, that's right,
That's notorious. Make it so that the people that run the campground
of course,
are responsible, but if people are lighting off fireworks, they would get fined if they let it happen.
Mhm.
And that's basically where a lot of it is, you know, people come up in summertime and every Friday and Saturday night, it's just. And I feel bad because, you know, got the horses down the street and all that stuff, all the animals, some of the dogs and cats, it just drives them crazy.
Mhm.
They don't think about that.
And one of the problems we had is the fact that they're going off in Tilton. And it's echoing right across the lake,
Oh, yeah.
and everyone thinks it's in Belmont. We go down there and they're actually being shot off in Tilton. So,
Yeah, that's
It's,
all I know I have.
Yeah.
It's more continental.
because over the water, it just magnifies the sound.
well, there's nothing to stop.
There's nothing to stop it.
well, definitely with the leaves off, this one's at Belmont.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, they've got their outside fire and, you know, I'm sure it's a gathering, whatever. And, I mean, back 2-3 weeks ago, it went on for over an hour. I was shocked. All I see is dollar bills going, you know, it just is, the seats must be expensive.
Be careful, you're gonna hurt Donnie's feelings.
Oh, all right.
But still selling fireworks?
Oh,
I was gonna ask, I was gonna let things go on,
Yeah.
I was gonna raise my hand.
yeah,
I know being manager for the campground,
yeah,
we do not allow fireworks.
yeah,
If they don't launch fireworks in the campground, they're notified when they come in and they check in.
Yeah.
If they launch fireworks in the campground, you're automatically ejected. If they don't listen, then we call
yeah,
you guys.
yeah,
And as far as selling fireworks, when we sell, when I only work 4th of July now. I ask where they're. And if they say Belmont, I tell them, you better get a permit, because if you don't, then there's gonna be, you know.
Repercussions, yeah.
It's $100 per occurrence.
Well, I like that fee schedule you were talking about.
Sharon likes the increase.
Because originally they had a straight $150 per occurrence. And the problem was, most people will shell the 150 out and say,
Mhm.
great, no problem. We'll do it again, we'll shell out another 150, we don't care. But when you're incrementally increasing it by 2, it starts to get costly.
We did that in 19 or 18 and 19.
Well, we can,
Revisit it if you would like.
We can revisit it, that's right.
And it's between 5 and 10.
And it would
hours.
be time to do it before warm weather comes and everybody gets happy. I guess. All right, letter to the editor from the Board of Select.
I'm gonna talk on that one.
Yes, they already received it, right?
Yeah, not from signature, but, John asked that we do, a thank you letter from the board that everybody has reviewed for, to thank all of our voters, good turnout, administrator, department heads, et cetera, the town clerk. And it thanks everybody who has served as a official, and congratulates Sonny on his retirement from, serving from the town. So there's one for the Monitor, the Daily Sun, and the Winnisquam Echo for the board to sign. Lost the sticky on that one.
I have another one. That one I'll put it on.
If we get this video done of town hall, all right, it might behoove to put a letter to the editor in there in regards, some sort of letter in under letters, to inform people where they can go to see this. I think that would,
It need to be publicized.
right,
somehow.
publicize it a little bit, maybe more,
So what good is that gonna do now when we don't have the money to?
oh, well,
So they eat the chocolate, Matt, and then,
I know.
next year we're gonna get you another one.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, you know, Ryan Jack's Transportation Advisory Committee.
Yes, his tech appointment. So this is just a reappointment if we so wish to have Brian reserve. As he's an alternate rep, and I believe Ron Rodzilla serves as the rep.
The rep.
Yeah. So that would be and there is a motion in your packet, and that would be a reappointment until April 4th, 2028.
So I will make the
Fine with it.
motion to Ryan Jacks to serve as the Belmont alternate rep for the Transportation and Advisory Committee for the term to expire on April 4th, 2028.
Second then.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition, hearing none? Congratulations.
Nah, do you really want it? No.
He was smiling, so I think
Yeah.
that was all right.
As long as he's the alternate.
Okay, under new business.
Other new business, we have, Donnie's here to, and there's a letter in your packet. If you want to go over it further about a grant you can have my copy if you want to read off of it, or. But a grant that they applied for and received.
So Lieutenant Tom Ryan and firefighter Jim Hayes, they took it upon themselves, they had been looking, we look for grants every day. And they went through this and filled it out and applied for it, and it's a 50-50 match. So then it's up to 2,000, so we spend 2,000, the state gives us 2,000, but it's specifically for forestry gear. And that's however, whether it's pants, helmets, hose, but we always need hose. We still have hose in service from 1983, so.
Mhm.
You know,
Good job in that, pal.
yeah, I love it.
You should send them.
We encourage them constantly, they're always looking in for grants for pagers, radios, you name it.
We should give them personally a letter,
Mhm.
our office, yeah, because they took the initiative. to do
Yep,
this.
and they did it all themselves.
My only question to be, where are you taking the matching funds from?
To be determined. Yeah.
But you have it.
I'll have it.
You have it, right?
Well,
Okay.
To be determined.
It's 2,000, that's one.
That was a good, that was a good response, though, to be determined, that
Yeah,
was.
two grand, that's a couple truck tires, no big deal.
Yeah, we can go with that.
I'll get back to you.
So you know where it's coming from.
All right, so we don't have to do anything with that, other than, I think, as John said,
Mhm.
you know, I think it's important that we start doing these types of things.
100%.
When
We're
these,
gonna have to.
when these people are going above and beyond, or
Okay.
kind of outside their job description, so to speak, that I think it's great.
Yeah.
Doing a positive thing, that's for sure.
I would just, you'd wanna go on record as to approving them moving forward with accepting the grant as long as he knows he's got the 2,000, or that he has the match in his budget to match, just like you do, just like you do for the police department when they do it, they find the match and where they're coming, where that's coming out of their budget.
All right, so moved.
Okay.
Second, all in favor?
Thank you.
Done.
You got that, Colin, right?
Travis second.
John did.
John.
John did.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, it's DRA equalization ratio for 2025.
Okay.
And Colleen is going to take this one away.
Okay, so. Last year, our equalization ratio was 95.1%.
Which for the
This year-
state is good.
It's good.
Good, you wanna be at
It's-
100.
You wanna be at 100.
Oh, well, yes.
So anything below 100 is not good,
Right.
but 95 is better.
Better, yeah, so this year though, well, for 2024 was 95.1%. 2025 is 85.1%, which
Yeah.
means that
Not good.
it means that our assessed values are 85% of what the market value is. So an example is, in 2024, a property that was worth $500,000, we were assessing it at $475,000. In 2025, a property that was worth $500,000 was only being assessed by us at $425,000. So we've lost 10% of the value of the assessment in 1 year's time, a 10% difference, which means that the market in Belmont is not changing the way that people think that it is. People, are saying that the market is stabilizing. I attended a home ownership conference today sponsored by the New Hampshire Housing Finance Authority. There were panel members there from New Hampshire Housing Finance, the governor was there, the Association of Realtors, the Mortgage Bankers Association, an assessing company was there, the State Housing Agency Council, the New Hampshire Fiscal Policy Institute. And it was really, really interesting to listen to the conversation and the panels and the questions from the audience and everything. So, what do you think is the average age of a first-time home buyer in the state of New Hampshire?
Now, probably. I think 60.
It's 40.
40.
That's right, it's 40 years old now.
And what's the home? Is it a mobile home or is it?
They show lots at this point.
Right,
Whatever
so,
they can buy.
so the median price, and you guys each got one of these nice little color things.
Yes.
So the median price for a single family home in all of the state of New Hampshire is $565,000. And the annual income that you need to afford a median type of a home starts at about $170,000 a year. So your household needs to bring in $170,000 in order to be able to afford a median house of $565,000 in the state of New Hampshire. So one of the slides that you see, over 10 years' time, income has increased by 58%. But the cost of single-family homes has increased by 125%. Condominiums have increased by 128%, and manufactured homes have increased by 320%. So the affordability was a huge part of the conference today, was all about affordability. So for what they consider a high demand occupation, that's one of the slides that you have on the back also. So the only high demand occupation in the state of New Hampshire that can afford the rent on a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment or house is a registered nurse. All of your other high demand occupations, which include police officers, electricians, carpenters, mental health counselors, construction laborers, healthcare aides, childcare workers, they can't afford to rent an apartment in the state of New Hampshire on their own income, which is pretty scary. And then the last slide shows our lowest income households that make less than $35,000 a year spend the highest percentage of their income on property tax. So low income households spend about 6% of their income on property taxes. The highest income households that make over $150,000 per year only spend 2 to 4% of their income on property taxes. And that's kind of just the way that the nature of property taxes work, and everybody pays the same tax rate. And the state requires that assessments be done based on market value, and that's part of how this all comes about. But it does show that there is a disparity, that the lower income people are paying a higher percentage because of the way that the world works, basically.
I was making less than $35,000 on paying property tax.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, it depends on where you are and whether you qualify for an exemption and, you know, different places. So a big part of this conference was like bringing all these different stakeholders together, and there were realtors there and mortgage people and bankers and town administrators, assessors, assessing companies. There were a lot of different types of people that were there. I would guess there were probably 200 or 300 people that were at the conference today. And the overall idea that we kind of took away is that there's no one big fix for our housing crisis in the state. It's going to take many small efforts combined to help reduce the housing demand. So some of those things include things like ADUs and manufactured homes on individual lots, which Belmont already has to offer people. Reduced parking requirements per state law doesn't really affect us too much because of, we do have one application I can think of right now where parking is going to be a significant issue that they're going to be trying to overcome. But it was reduced by state law. Other efforts could include reduced lot sizes, like instead of requiring a 3-acre minimum lot in the rural zone, maybe we require a 2-acre minimum lot in the rural zone. In areas where there's infrastructure like municipal sewer and water and stuff, you can reduce those lot sizes more and have a higher density because you're able to handle the capacity with the municipal services. Removing barriers for condominium ownership, which has to do with like FHA regulations, insurance company requirements, and like structural inspections. And I guess this kind of all ties into that issue with the condominium complex in Florida that collapsed because it hadn't been inspected and stuff. And I guess that has had a ripple effect across the whole entire country. And people are having difficulties obtaining financing to get into a condominium. And these are also lower income people that are trying to get in. So lower income people are now having more barriers to being able to get into affordable housing because of outside influences, basically. Not anything, you know, that we can do as a town to help with any of that, but it is part of what's going on. They're talking about doing legislation that will increase the length of a road that you're allowed to have. I know our zoning board did just recently approve a waiver on a road length for a subdivision. So that's kind of something that Belmont's already doing to some extent. Removing hardship variances, which that could potentially be a really big can of worms, depending on how the legislation goes for something like that. Other things were encouraging employment in the trades, which kind of has like a ripple effect too. You don't really think about it as fixing a housing crisis, but you need tradespeople to build affordable houses. And when you have tradespeople that are so high in demand and you don't have enough tradespeople, it brings all the costs of building and construction up really, really high. And then looking at where construction materials are manufactured and trying to reduce the tariffs that are being paid on construction materials. And then government reforms to offer different types of grants for things. So those are all different things to try to help. It's gonna take a long time, but we are really, really short on stock of housing in the state, and we don't have places for, our police officers and our healthcare workers to live. And then another thing that was an interesting fact that they pointed out is 63% of local revenues from municipalities is raised by taxes for towns and schools and counties. So 63% of what we bring in is raised by taxes. And that maybe there's ways to look at other ways of trying to increase revenues in some creative way, so that you're not raising taxes as much. You're trying to decrease that percentage by, being creative about revenue for grants or other ways to make money to overall reduce things.
Legislature get their heads out of the clouds. You register a 2014 truck today, the town tax is gonna be somewhere around $114. You register a $280,000 boat, the tax is gonna be around $90.
So
80% of the
things.
boats, the big boats, that these marinas in Sullivan Lake are registered in New Hampshire, but never really come here. Because part of their sales pitch is, we'll register it for you, and you go to Guilford and check in the office, because Cynthia worked there for many years. And they come in and they wanna register this, Sam Smith, with, it's Goodyear Marine, the boat ain't Goodyear Marine. The boat's on Lake Placid or Lake Champlain, and that's because they recognize our registrations. Out there, they get taxed on the value of the boat. So part of the sales pitch is registered here in New Hampshire.
Yeah,
I discussed the pay in the tax.
fortunately, that lobby's hard, and we try to raise boat registration,
But it's
people
wrong.
destroying us in that, oh, it's wrong, they, and
Absolutely
they know
wrong.
it.
And a big supporter of that is the man who lives right beside the elementary school, and on 140. Gilman.
So
Supported this for years, the boat dealers.
And the final part of the day was talking about property taxes in relation to purchasing homes and the fact that property taxes are not equal in all the different municipalities. A house that's worth $300,000 in one town could have a tax bill of $3,000 a year. In another town, it might be $12,000 a year. So people that have a particular budget also have to know what their potential taxes are gonna be. And they were talking about how towards the end of the year, when tax rates are being set and people find out what the new tax bills are gonna be on certain properties, some people back out of deals that they might have considered going into because they can afford the house. And now the price of the house isn't as important as being able to afford the taxes that go along with being able to pay for the house. And then just a reminder that market values drive assessments that are applied consistently to values across a whole community. It's required by law. Exemptions and credits can help ease some of those tax amounts. But taxes are a reflection of the economy, and our neighbors set the values. I thought that was kind of an interesting quote.
And that's.
It's true.
And the assessors interpret the sales data is what happens. The assessors don't just say, oh, your house is worth this amount of money. It's all of the data entry that goes in, and you have to use the sales because that's what the state of New Hampshire says. So I thought that was really good. Taxes are a reflection of the economy, and our neighbors set the values. Buyers and sellers, they set the values for everybody's property.
So the revenue, the Department of Revenue wants to see our, equalization at 100%. Now it's down to 85. So when do, the director that signed this letter to us, when do we get to the point that we get the letter from the director saying you have no choice, you have to, reassess all your, reval all your, yeah.
I think they don't like it when numbers start to get low, but I think because the way the law is written for every 5 years, that we would just keep going lower and lower and lower. And I don't know if anybody else keeps track of it, but I watch the news on other places in the state, and there are places that haven't revaled in 5 years that are just starting to reval again. And they've gone from like a 50% equalization value, and so property values have doubled and tripled from, it looks like it's doubled and tripled from last year's tax bill, but really you have to look at it's over a whole 5 years. And we did the staggered, we did incrementals for a couple of years so that we didn't have such a huge jump all at one time. But right now,
if this
we're
trend,
potentially-
this trend keeps going the way it's going, when we have to reval
Hang on.
in 4 years or whatever at this point, you think your taxes are high now?
or your assessed
Or your
value.
assessed value,
Right.
you think your assessed value is high now, this is gonna, and whatever the assessment affects the taxes. All right, it's the domino effect, that was why we had put that on the ballot, to try to keep things at a more manageable level, because all of a sudden, it's gonna be stay this way, and then it's gonna go right out of sight.
Yes.
And the problem is, then if it starts to come down, you have to wait 5 years before you get that effect of it coming back down again.
They said they don't see, I mean,
down.
they've done a lot of looking at the
Forecasting.
market and forecasting and stuff, and
Yeah,
they don't, they said like on the coast, the southern coast and the west coast, you're kind of seeing those types of trends where the housing market is
I
starting
said they all burned down.
to level itself out.
Yeah.
But they showed a chart that's the Midwest and the Northeast. No,
Wow.
no,
So that means
it's
it
not slowing
So
down.
when we reval in 4 years, it's gonna be a shocker.
I think
Well,
it's
my-
Is it
yeah,
4?
29, so I think it's 3
29.
years now.
Please,
50.
how many people in Belmont?
Oh, let's. Probably 1,400, 1,500 people,
How many now?
8,000.
And they're all, the school. I can't get over that we legalized gambling in this state 15 years ago. The lottery, you hear about the mega bucks and all that. You ought to go to the mega bucks, you wanna go to the building where the lottery is controlled. It's
Oh,
an office,
Off of Manchester Street?
yep,
Yeah.
4 stories high, 86 offices, 6 people work there. 6. The best of everything.
And they say the reason that the towns aren't getting the money that we thought they were gonna get is all going for administrative staff.
Yeah.
All those little truck cars that you see running around saying, well, I don't want to be here, but yeah, it's. That was
We got a lot of casinos all of a sudden in the state, all over the place. And how much revenue it goes back to the schools like this.
And that's where it was supposed to go, and that's where they sold us this whole gambling program.
Back in the early 60s when. Yeah,
You're right, Ron.
but they kept taking that money to balance their budget. They kept raiding it.
All right, now we get,
Sorry, one question. What happened? Because we were adjusting every year.
it had to be on the ballot, we had put it on the ballot that it be adjusted and you know, we didn't put on the ballot last year. Last year it didn't go back on the ballot.
It's been two.
I think it's been 2 years.
2 years.
We had put it on the ballot that it be looked at each year.
Right.
But that had to go on each year for it to be looked at.
No.
So why didn't we?
Oh,
Oh,
it
for
was
2
one
years.
time.
Yeah, for 2 years, I guess you're right, that's right. And we had to put it on because everybody was so, freaking out about what their assessed values are. Well, now it's,
The disparity.
oh, it's, I just worry that, you know,
Not only that, but this is for 25 and now we're in 26. So we're, you know, in 24, in 25, when we got 24s, we were at 95 and now we're in, 26 getting 25. So you're
and
You're
I just get
behind.
nervous with the atmosphere. Whether it's in Concord or wherever other state house, that we might get a letter. And if we get the letter.
Yeah, but there's a statute that supports
the town.
The town.
that it's every 5 years.
No matter what.
No matter what. So right now, until they change that,
Oh, yeah,
that's, but
they can
that's,
change it next week.
that is,
Right.
but I would encourage, whether it fails or not, it's another educational moment
Mhm.
for people to understand that we need to.
They don't
Every day,
understand.
well, I mean, we all know it, I mean, I stood out there again and we got beat to shreds over the budget and people didn't. How many people we spun around that had no idea what they were even saying?
Well, look how many people voted no on the school budget?
Well, and I just said.
They voted no on the budget and it was less than the default budget, but they.
So the state will come in if you've been more than the 5 years and they will reassess you.
And
So
Bill,
that happened this year
Mm.
where a municipality in northern New Hampshire was unable to make a contract for services with any assessing company that would come and do their 5-year assessment.
Mhm.
They had nobody to do it. And there's also very much a short supply of assessors. People don't want to do it. People are so
Because they get
angry.
backlogged so bad.
Yep,
Because
people don't want to be assessors anymore.
Oh,
So the state had to send people up to northern New Hampshire, and they only had one person that was certified to do that type of work and had to have people that would, help them. But then they had people that were missing from their offices so other things that we had to do and submit, things were behind because their assessors were up in the North Country to do this assessment for a municipality that couldn't find a company to do their assessment for them.
Wow.
A lot of doom and gloom, isn't there?
Which is really full, right now. Jeez, well, sorry. It's,
you got any good news?
it's sad.
Yes, we have one more thing of good news. So, in your letter, we've been talking about the well one replacement for a long time, and that was to be funded with the ARPA funds that we got back in after COVID. So it is actually coming to fruition. I have the work schedule in your packet. They're gonna start, and I don't know, Brian, if you wanna jump in at any point, but they're gonna start demo with the existing well on April 6th, and then in hopes to start up the new well April 16th. So if anyone notices anything going on in that area, that's what's going on.
They're demoing the well, or the well.
The well itself, yeah, so we're decommissioning the old well
Right.
one, which is the original well.
Uh-huh.
And it's gonna be known as well 4, was drilled a little ways away from it.
Yeah.
And they have to completely remove the pump and cap it and decommission it so it can't ever be used again. And then we'll make the interconnection to the
well,
existing pipe that
yeah.
our feeds the well house.
Yeah,
And they'll bring it online slowly. All this is supposed to take place over the course of 2 weeks, basically.
Huh.
All of our state permitting is supposed to be ready to go.
that's been
Yeah.
It's a long process.
Yeah.
All of the, electronic components, the VFD, the control panels, everything was took forever to get in.
Yeah.
It was,
but that started during COVID.
it started during
Yeah,
COVID.
that's
yeah.
exactly right, yeah. All right, and this is the company that's doing it?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're kind of like umbrella contracting everything.
Right,
Just.
but we already have that money, that's all.
Yes, it was,
That's all the ARPA funds.
Yep, it
correct?
was a-
We had set that aside for
yes.
this specifically.
Yeah.
There's most of it.
Yeah, there may be a tiny bit,
Yeah.
overage or, due to the fact that, we quoted it out back
4 years ago.
4 or 5 years, and designated $500,000 to the project. So this is $500,000 less that the ratepayers would have had to pay.
From good being good savers. Okay, any other new business?
The only other thing I had put in your packet was we had, the legislative updates from NHMA. These have been kind of changing throughout the week with some things passing and not passing. I had printed these last week or the week before, so I don't know. Travis, did you actually look and see what passed or what didn't pass or make note?
1704, which is definitely supposed to, going to be brought up for the next House is elected, so next year.
That is.
That's that, yeah, everything else besides everything else is in the Senate committee besides the last 3 are still waiting for the House.
So what NHMA does is they tell you what the House bill is and the, the positive or the negative effect on the municipalities and, whether they have requested action or their stance on, for our stance. So if there's anything specific that you guys think you want us to voice our opinion on or send a letter in, just let me know. And then another thing I had put in your packet is just, more FYI was, I can't pronounce his last name, Todd's Selig, yes, that's it. Wrote was a columnist in regards to House Bill 1704, which you just said was the one that would crush. So that was just an article as to, his opinion on how that would hurt a town as far as your labor relations and contracts with your employees. So I just gave that for you to read. And then I think the third one that I put in was there was also another House bill to basically get rid of NHMA. And he also did another response to somebody explaining, what it is that they do and why they're we have them. So those are just food for thought for you guys to read. Just to keep you in the know, of things that are going on throughout the state.
Is that one you're talking about 1360?
I think, yeah, so it says where we differ is how
Yeah, so hopefully it'll live on the floor.
House Bill 1360 and 1359. Yep.
Yeah, the majority do, those.
Okay, any other old business?
No old business. I don't know if there's any public comment, and then I do have a small non-public.
Any public comment? Anyone? Kind of interact with public comments.
Yeah, along the way.
Along the way, yeah, all right.
All right.
Our next meeting. I have no idea.
April 1st. April 1st. April Fools. 10 a.m.
And that will be at 10, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, April 1st at 10 a.m. And we will move it, do I have a motion to adjourn?
No.
Tom, not public, please.
You'll move.
Second,
I'm sorry, we're not there yet.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Mayor,